cover my baldness up. You know, bald is beautiful, some will say. My wife does anyways. What's going on, creatives? I just wanted to hop on here for a second and tell you why you need one of these. I don't know, do you really? I just recently picked up a rig probably about 6 months ago. I really like it so far. Everything on this rig is from SmallRig. Clever name, SmallRig, because it's small. Anyways, there's a ton of videos on the intranet about these products. So I'm really not gonna go too in depth about what I have on here. The majority of what I wanna talk about is, do you really need one? The first thing I would say about a rig that is a pro for me is the added weight. I absolutely, legitimately hate shooting with a gimbal, and I would say 99% of my content is shot handheld. The time I set up a gimbal, I get it balanced, I put the camera on there, I do everything, I am already over shooting. I am done for the day, and it just frustrates me. So maybe you're not that way, maybe you're really good and proficient at setting it up, but that is not my forte. The thing that this rig does for me is it takes all the little micro jitters out, and it just makes my editing process a lot easier. And I know when I'm shooting with this, there's so many points of contact on this rig. You have your side handle, I have an extra side handle, and then you have the top down handle. It really does help with that. And then the added weight, so that is a good bonus. That's probably the biggest reason why I would say you need a cage. The next reason I think that you need a cage is, it's kind of stupid, but it's just the world we live in, is you look more professional. And I hate that. If you show up to shoot with a camera, your lens, and a microphone, people aren't going to take you very serious. Now, if you show up to a shoot with this, you're instantly credible. You instantly know what you're doing. You must be a professional, and so it just makes you look better. I really hate that, but that's just the fact, especially when you get into the corporate world and things like that. They feel like they're getting more bang for their buck. So I would say that if you're doing corporate gigs, if you're doing things like that, it's nice to have one of these that you can break out, and it just makes you look more professional. I don't agree with it, but that's just the world we live in. And I guess the fact that there's more places to add accessories, that's a big plus. You know, when you get your camera, there's not a whole lot of places to put stuff. So this is really nice. I know it sounds stupid and simple, but it is the truth. I mean, you can just add more things to your camera setup. So that's another plus, I guess. This ties into having a place to mount your accessories. These monitors on the back of these cameras, it's not very big. And so when you get over, you don't see as well, and it's nice to have a monitor like this. The biggest problem with mounting a monitor on your camera without a cage is your hot shoe is really the only place that you can put that. And so what a lot of people don't think about is they put it on there. For one, it looks really stupid, and secondly, it throws off the balance of your camera and it makes it top heavy. Nobody ever talks about that, but the ergonomics of your camera, the balance of it, the way it feels in your hands is extremely important, especially if you're trying to shoot handheld. So for me, that is an added bonus. When I rig this thing out, I can see my shots a lot better. I can pull focus better. So that's just another big benefit for me, is the fact that I can put my monitor where it's weighted properly. It doesn't look stupid. It doesn't get in my way. It actually helps me. So that's another pro. Now let's talk about some of the negatives. And for me, these are pretty big. I think that the more gear that I have to worry about, it takes away from my creativity. When I'm in a creative mood, the last thing I want to get in my way is gear. And there is something to be said about grabbing your camera and going and shooting and not worrying about this stuff. And all you're worried about is creating something really cool. I am all about simplicity. The simpler, the better. So keep that in mind when you're thinking about buying one of these camera gears or rigging your camera out. If you can keep things simple and get the same results, that for me is the way to go. When you're driving to a shoot, where do you put this at? It's not gonna fit in a bag. So literally what I end up doing is I sit this in the front seat of the car with me and I strap a seatbelt on it. Let me know if you guys do the same thing. That's what I ended up doing, and I'm always a nervous wreck, because what if I get in a wreck? What if I whatever, and my camera is not protected? And so that just means I have to go buy another piece of gear to carry this thing, and then it's just like, it's just, there's a lot. That is definitely a negative for me. And also another big negative is I'm a hybrid shooter. I take photos as well as video. And do you really want to go around taking photos with this thing? No. You'd look really stupid. or you'd feel really stupid. At least I do. So I'm like, no, I don't want to do that. And so then I end up like taking it out of there, and you got to take the lens off, and it's just this big mess. And by the time I do all that, I really don't feel like shooting photos. I guess that's about it. That's my thoughts. Is a camera cage for you? Well, it really depends on the type of shooter that you are. If you're like me and you are very creative in your thinking process, and you just kind of feel things and gear kind of gets in your way, then I would say, you know, stay away from a camera cage unless you just have the extra money to spend and you want one to shoot with every once in a while. Then I would say just shoot handheld, shoot the way you are. Shoot the way you are. I know that's not a straightforward answer, and you might be the kind of shooter that, hey, look, I'm gonna leave it in a cage and use that 24/7, and that's just the way I shoot. But for me, I use it when I need it, but 90% of the time, a cage is not for me. So, hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thanks for subscribing, and thanks for watching my content. If there's something specific that I didn't cover that you would like to know more about, reach out to me. I'd love to talk to you, and we'll see you in the next video. Peace.